back there?
Yes.
All good, Abe? Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Parkdale Elementary School. I am going to gavel us into our February 11th public meeting of the Hood River County School District Board of Directors. It's 6:30. We are going to start off with any revisions to the agenda.
Good evening, Madam Chair. We have a revised personnel report. We have a revised Parkdale Elementary School report and a revised important calendar dates document.
Great. I hope everybody had the opportunity to look at those. I think Megan sent them out yesterday,
Yep.
so fantastic. All right, let's move right into the superintendent report then.
All right. Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. I'm pleased to share several updates regarding our district's fiscal outlook, long-range planning, and strategic initiatives as we move further into the second half of the school year. We received encouraging news from Salem following the March revenue forecast, which was presented on February 4th. Net general fund and lottery resources are up $286.5 million from the December forecast. According to our resources at the Coalition of School Administrators, otherwise known as COSA, this means the projected state budget deficit has dipped below $500 million. Additionally, we are monitoring Senate Bill 1507, the plan to disconnect from the federal tax code, which could net approximately $300 million in additional revenue if passed. While this news is positive, we must continue to advocate for the legislature to utilize the Education Stability Fund, currently projected at $1.23 billion, to protect K-12 programs from potential reductions, which includes our local option equalization grant that generates approximately $750,000 per year alone for our school district. In addition to the state budget update, we received some good news regarding the federally funded Title I-T programming, which supports our migrant students and families. Next year's grant will have a reduction of approximately 5% from this year's funding. As I shared at our last school board meeting on January 28th, while flat funding or a small reduction isn't necessarily something to celebrate, we are pleased Congress is supporting funding that the current administration was proposing to entirely cut. This information means that we are currently looking at approximately $1.3 million in reductions for next school year to offset PERS costs, which are a result of our PERS side account, otherwise known as a bond, ending prior to the 2027-28 school year. We will provide a budget update at our next regular school board meeting scheduled for March 11th at Pine Grove School. East Middle School staff, along with members of our maintenance, custodial, and nutrition services team, mitigated a major crisis last Friday morning as the school was opening up for the day. 3 water lines had burst in the kitchen, boiler room, and makerspace due to a simultaneous failure of 2 pressure regulators. We were able to secure water and temporary porta potties quickly while repairs were made. Thankfully, East was able to run school on this day despite having the water turned off until approximately 11 a.m. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the critical nature of our ongoing conversations with the Long-Range Facilities Planning Committee regarding our aging infrastructure. We are making positive strides with the development of our 5-year strategic plan. Our communications director, Steph Hoppy, recently led a session with our community partners to share and receive feedback on our draft goals and objectives. Simultaneously, school principals met with teachers and classified leaders over the past 2 weeks to receive feedback on our draft objectives and goals. This input from both the staff and community partners was reviewed and discussed with our Strategic Planning Development Committee this week as we finalize our draft goals and objectives. We look forward to sharing these draft goals and objectives with the board for your feedback at the March 11th school board meeting. We recently held a productive work session with our career and technical education, STEM, and community works educators, joined by Dr. Kenny Lawson, president of Columbia Gorge Community College. This group is identifying the strengths and opportunities within our programming to ensure our goals align with future workforce needs. We are excited to host the February 25th board work session at HRCSD, where you will have the opportunity to see and hear about our current offerings firsthand, while also learning about opportunities to enhance our CTE programming and align with our next 5-year strategic plan. This board work session aligns perfectly given that this month is Career and Technical Education Month, which is an opportunity to elevate and celebrate the accomplishments of our school district CTE programs. The search for permanent The search for permanent principals at May Street Elementary and Hood River Valley High School is well underway. Following listening sessions held with staff and families last week, screening committees have begun reviewing applications this week. Our current timeline aims for initial interviews during the week of February 17th, with final interviews tentatively scheduled for the week of February 23rd. During the final round of interviews, we will provide opportunities for staff and the broader school community to meet and hear from the candidates. I will conclude my superintendent report this evening by recognizing this month as Black History Month. This month serves as a vital reminder that Black history is American history, offering us a meaningful opportunity to celebrate the profound contributions of Black Americans. Resources were recently shared in our staff newsletter that provides an opportunity for our teachers to honor the achievements and legacies of Black Oregonians, which includes learning how Black pioneers contributed to Oregon communities, trades, and culture, examining how Black Oregonians experienced and challenged Oregon's anti-Black laws in the 19th century, and exploring how Black Oregonians used collective power during the 1950s through 80s civil rights era. I strongly encourage our teachers to use these resources throughout the year. And that concludes my report for this evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Bill. Any questions or comments for Superintendent? All right, thank you. All right. We will move on then to any board member reports. Did anybody do anything great in the last 2 weeks?
I don't know, it's great, but I went to the strategic planning committee. It was fun. And a lot of work and not a lot of time. So it's a tough thing, but really the committee appreciates all of the community input and staff on the new strategic plan, so.
Thank you, Corinda. Yeah, I got to go to some of that too, and what I really appreciate is how much work was put into getting staff and community feedback. Really appreciate staff and the team for going out and making sure that we're hearing from everybody who has a stake in where we go in the next 5 years. So I really did enjoy going over all that information, so thank you. All right, thanks so much, Corinda. Okay, and then we'll move on to Rune with the Student Envoy Report.
Sweet. How's it going, guys? First off, we're going to give a little final update on the canned food drive. The total in money was $17,177.14. So that's like including all the online and cash and check donations. And so some of the prizes for that, we did snacks at finals for the first semester, and most of the classrooms have gotten their individual prizes like pizza or ice cream or whatever. And we hope to have those finished up by spring break. And we're also looking at a date in April for our Friday late start day. Last week, we did a Winter Spirit Week with different dress-up days, music at lunch, and a Find Waldo for a prize on Friday. We ended the week with the Winter Dance, where close to 200 kids got dressed up, danced, and some did a little karaoke. Winter sports are winding down in the next couple of weeks. Cheer's going to state this weekend, and swimming and wrestling are gearing up for districts. The blood drive was supposed to be February 19th, but it has been moved to May 7th due to scheduling conflict with the Red Cross. Our next big activity is HRV's Got Talent on March 13th. Students have been asked to turn in video auditions to Ms. Wiesman by next week. Thank you, that's all.
All right, thanks, Rune. Any questions for Rune? Questions, comments?
I just want to thank you guys for doing such a good job, and especially when you guys are so busy right now. And you're doing a wonderful job of keeping up with this and really keeping spirit good at the high school. And
Of course.
it's good. Nice that you came all the way to Parkdale to talk to us.
Rune, are scholarship, are the HRCSD scholarships open yet or not yet?
Yes, they are actually due in 9 days.
Okay, all right,
So I am, very much on that right now.
okay, all right. So that's a good thing for all those kids out there that are listening, which
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't be, so just make sure you get those in the next 9 days, but don't go for anything Rune wants. Okay, all right, Rune, thanks so much. I really appreciate you coming up here, and Felipe is at a swim meet, I believe. Yeah, okay. Well, they are so busy. All right. We are going to move on to recognition, good news, and I think Nate is going to do do this for us.
Well, first of all, just welcome to Parkdale Elementary. Board chair, members of the board, cabinet, thanks for being here this evening and joining us. And I do have the opportunity to recognize some of our PTO members who are here to join us this evening. And I just kind of wanted to give, for those, watching online and just, but also have a chance to come up here. But first of all, just to recognize that this year, we have really mostly a brand new team, and so I just think it's timely to thank them for the amazing work that they're doing here with us. Just really, there's just a lot more life and vibrance in the team, and just this dedication that is a lot of fun to be a part of. And so I wanted to thank them, and I know that our community really appreciates what they're doing. But as you can see, we have Lindsay Wiesman, Ali Castillo, who's not able to be here tonight, Kayla, Millie, Steph, and Maggie. And then we have a lot of members who are really active and come to most all of our meetings. And so I thought if I could invite the ones who are here with us tonight, just to thank them publicly and just help me appreciate them. Come on up here with us here, introduce yourselves.
So Kara went to go get Kayla, because she's coaching.
Steph, Maggie, come on up.
Like my parents, they've been coaching basketball.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the things.
It's nice to see you're finally getting involved, Lindsay.
Yeah, really. I know.
Yes, yes.
Right? She's not even paying attention.
Lindsay,
Here? We
Lindsay.
stand here?
Lindsay, I'm so glad you're finally getting involved in our
I know.
schools. Thank you.
I needed one more thing to do. I knew that would be a joke.
Would you like to introduce your, the team?
I feel like when I get put on the spot, then I forget names.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
they're
call,
right there.
so if you, yes, so I'm gonna still let them do it.
Okay, yeah, we can
Okay.
introduce ourselves.
My name is Lindsay Wiesman. Hi, nice to meet you.
Steph Hoppy.
Maggie Kellogg, Kara McNulty.
Kayla Bohens.
Anybody? No, that's it, okay.
What age are your kiddos?
Third grade, kinder, and a preschooler.
Okay,
5th grade and 1st grade.
I have a 3rd grade right now and a 6th grader at White East.
I have a 1st grader, and next year I will have a kindergartner here.
hey,
We're on the same schedule. First grader and incoming kinder.
well, that, your
You're
PTO
around
is
for a
happy
while.
because you guys will be around for a while. That's awesome.
You're like, yeah, right?
Right, yep,
We're in the
yep.
middle of getting ready for Carnival.
Yes.
February 27th.
Yep.
So that's just been a big push every year, but a lot of new ideas, and it's just gonna be a lot of fun. So I
We-
just really appreciate all that work.
Thank you, Nate. We have really, because a lot of us are new and a new team, we have said that this year is the year of yes, and so we're really trying some new things. We're not saying no to a lot of things, and just we're like, hey, we got to try it and see if it works, and if it works, great. So we're changing a few traditions, not too many. People get pretty upset about that, but just adding things to our traditions that we already have here at Parkdale. So, yeah. But if anybody would like to volunteer, we could absolutely, they would love to see school board members there, and we would love, I'm in charge of volunteers. We would love to have you there. It is from 5 to 8, 2 shifts, I'll actually email it to you. But 5 to 6:30 and 6:30 to 8. Okay, love to have you there.
And a great opportunity for high school students who need those volunteer hours.
Oh.
We get them into all kinds of, activities for that night, and it's easy.
And then they could put it on their scholarship
And we can put it on their
applications.
scholarship applications. So we're here.
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
Volunteer.
it's a huge community event up in Parkdale, and it's super fun and crazy. Like just kids running around, lots of really fun activities. We are changing some of our games. Kayla's kind of been one of the people in charge of that, and just trying different things to see what works and how we can shake it up a little bit.
What is the date for
That's what I
that
was
in
gonna
March?
That's a great question. That was, wait, you did say it, but
Friday,
February 27th.
February 27th.
Friday, February 27th.
Yeah.
Come on.
You could just come on down the road, Dave.
I've never been to the Parkdale Carnival before or
You missed
assembled
it.
any of the
I'm sure you've
booths.
missed it, and you're
Oh,
ready to
sure.
come on back.
Never have.
Ready to
Yeah,
come
I'll
on
have to
back.
go check that out.
Yeah. It'll be like old times.
Gosh, Dave, I've been.
I went last year.
He probably knows how to, put those
Oh,
complicated wooden structures together.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something?
Have you done that in the
You
past?
might be able to.
Yeah. I have.
I'll send you an email later.
I've got 7 or 8 years of experience.
That's great.
Well, we have some sweatshirts for you.
Oh.
I have to apologize, though, we only have a couple of different sizes, okay? So we have, I think, smalls and extra larges.
Can we check those out later, or do we have to like pick them right now?
On camera.
I'm on right now, Lindsay.
Maybe you could sit back there.
Thank you for that, Lindsay.
Yep. Right.
How about we just do a photo right over here?
Sorry.
I'm really surprised that you have Steph Hoppy, you know, in charge of communications for you.
She's doing a great job.
Way off base.
Ally,
You
or
can photo mom if you want. back there.
Get in there tight.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do one more. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for all your work.
It really makes a huge difference to your schools, what you do.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yep, it makes a big difference. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Nate, for recognizing how important that volunteering is for their schools. And it just, you know, it's a lot of times all the fun stuff. And so that's really, really great that you have such good involvement. Okay. All right, we are going to move on to public comment, and I do believe we have one person. And so I'm going to just read our public comment paragraph, and then we'll call we'll call the person up, and they will have 3 minutes. So, the Hood River County School District Board of Directors requests comments be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers will state their name and county of residence for the record. The board appreciates community members sharing information during public comments. While the board does not respond to public comment, following the meeting, the chair, vice chair, and superintendent will together determine the appropriate level response. Speakers may offer objective criticism of district operations or programs, but the board will not hear complaints concerning specific district personnel. And we will not exceed 30 minutes. If for some reason you are not able to come to make public comment tonight, you can sign up for our next board meeting. You just have to sign up before 4 o'clock the day before the board meeting. Or you can always write to the board at hrcsd.board@hoodriver.k12.or.us. If the material you're speaking about could be considered inappropriate for certain age groups, please provide the comment in writing or provide notice to ensure adequate time is provided for those in the room to leave. And we will call up Everin.
When will my time start?
You say your name and what county you're from, and then I will start it.
Okay. And if I say like Hood River, that's a county, right?
It is a county.
Okay.
You bet. Thanks, Everin.
I'm Everin Garrett, and I am from Hood River County, and I'll begin now. I have no special talent. I'm only passionately curious. Albert Einstein. I believe in the same way for those who are curious, we should allow them to be curious and not to strip that away. And because I believe that, I have come here to defend Honors LA 9 for being removed. To begin, I'm going to explain why we should be keeping Honors LA 9 and then explain why the reasons for removing Honors LA 9 are wrong. My sole argument is removing Honors LA 9 destroys the understanding of advanced classes. Subpoint A, Honors LA 9 is the only advanced class that the majority of freshmen get take. There are four advanced classes for freshmen: Geometry, Algebra 2, Physics, and Honors Pattern Physics, and Honors LA. All these classes listed above are considered either an advanced class for freshmen or just an advanced class as a whole. There are 3 key problems with this. All but Honors LA 9 are science. It's in the math and science field, meaning if you're not a math genius, there is no advanced class for you. 2, in order to take half of those classes, you need to be enrolled in Algebra 1 in middle school. This means if you were not chosen by the middle school as someone who was considered smart, there was no options other than Honors Patterns Physics and Honors LA. And 3, Honors Patterns Physics is not an advanced class. It is a normal class with 8 extra assignments. And meaning if you remove honors LA 9, there is no option that you could take as a freshman that fits all of if you don't fit in any one of those categories. Subpoint B is honors LA is the best beginner advanced class. Honors LA 9 is the best starting class because it gives you a better idea of homework. Currently at the middle school, you do little to no homework. If honors LA 9 gives you good introductory to it. And two, the alternates is AP classes. AP classes are college level classes. And when you're a sophomore and you're taking your first advanced class and that's AP Human Geography, that is a huge difficulty jump compared to the other options. Now, I hear you talking about STORE, so I'm going to explain why this doesn't work. One, this class is extremely new, so the impacts are fully yet to be realized to mean if it's a working class. And two, just because this doesn't give you it doesn't give you actual learning of like what it means to be an advanced class. It only gives you techniques of how to do it better. Subpoint C is the impacts of removing it. Removing it destroys advanced classes for two reasons. One, there is no options for you to take. There's no other options you could take as a freshman anymore, as I explained earlier. And two, the students wouldn't know what it means to be in an advanced class because they will not be used to the new sum of homework that you'll be getting from AP classes and classes that are considered more difficult. Now I'll explain the reasons why we're considering removing it are wrong. One is funding. I understand funding is a huge problem right now, but there's two reasons why this doesn't matter. One, this class is very important, as I explained above, and two, there's 40 kids in this class. Actually, I'm not even sure if there might be more, but there is a lot of kids in these classes compared to other classes like AP Calc BC and Intro to Law, where there's only 10 kids. We should not be cutting a class with this many people. And now the second argument is students believe that they missed their mark. However, just because I tell you that this is just a fault in logic. If I tell you my sister is evil, that does not suddenly mean she's evil. Just because students don't actually miss their mark by not taking honors LA for advanced classes. They just missed the mark of taking an the introduction to advanced classes. Thank you.
All right, everyone, thank you very much.
Sorry if I spoke too fast.
You're good. You got it in.
Got it, and thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. Appreciate it. Dang, I hope he's on speech and debate.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did a good job.
All right, and so that's going to close our public comment meeting, part of the meeting. So we'll move on to consolidated reports.
Thank you, Ruin.
Thanks, Rune. You guys be careful driving back down the mountain, out of the Arctic. All right, we'll move on to consolidated reports, and I don't believe there's actually any to look at tonight, and so we'll move on to consolidated action. And I would take a motion, as long as everybody had an opportunity to look at those three.
I move to approve the consolidated action as presented.
I second.
Okay, so moved by Corinda and second by Jesse. Any comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll go for a vote. Corinda?
Aye.
Monica?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Okay, and the chair writes aye, so that passes unanimously. Fantastic. On to reports and discussions. We're going to bring Nate Parson back up for the Parkdale Elementary report, and whoever else he wants to bring with him.
Student support specialist to join me for this part. And we'll just make sure that our slideshow's ready for you. Let's see, we go right here. All right. Well, again, just welcome to our school. Great to have you all. And we just have some fun things to share about. We'll talk about some of the academics, and we have some fifth grade leaders that are going to come join us here in a moment. Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to introduce
That's
yourself.
okay.
so, yeah.
My name's Erin Peters. I'm the student support specialist at Parkdale.
And so what we'd like to share today is a little bit about one of the programs that we have here. It's part of the AVID collaboration focus, and it's our fifth grade leaders. And so that's going to be our spotlight for a little while here. So this is our support team. Mrs. Veronica, she had a soccer game with her son Eric, who's also one of our leaders, so wasn't able to join us today. But we're kind of the core team to kind of help this program continue here at Parkdale Elementary. And then we also have our training team. Miss Holly is here, and Miss Maggie is here as well. And they've helped us train the students at the beginning of the year. And Mr. Dixon is our PE teacher, and then Miss Lydia is our music teacher. They weren't able to be here tonight, but that team is, we depend on them to help us to train the students up in each of the parts, and we'll tell you more about the parts of the fifth grade leaders in just a moment.
Yeah, so I'd like to share a little bit about how these fifth grade leaders support throughout our school. It's an amazing group of leaders that we have this year, and they do a 3-part rotation throughout the year. So they support at recess, pushing out and supporting the younger students. Then we have a group that pushes into classrooms and helps out with whatever the teachers need. And lastly, we have assembly support, where students really get creative control and get to get up in front of the entire school population and create an assembly and a fun experience for everyone. So I'm going to kind of touch briefly on those areas, but really let the fifth graders take lead and share a little bit more about what those areas of the school look like. But I'd also like to highlight some other kind of incentives and things that we've been trying this year to kind of grow this leadership program. So starting with our expectation expedition, we have our PBIS expectation rotations that we do twice a year. And this winter we had our fifth graders completely take over that and take something that's typically boring and not super exciting for students and make it really fun and engaging. So they made really exciting presentations and skits that they performed as students moved throughout different areas of the school and got retaught our expectations. We practice public speaking at our assemblies. Like I said, getting up in front of the whole school takes a lot of courage. It's been really cool to see these students grow and get more confident throughout the year as they get up in front of everyone at our assemblies. We pass out our PBIS Golden Awards that are trying to be earned by all the classes from different areas around the school, and our character trait certificates. So those are in alignment with our social emotional learning curriculum, Character Strong, and we honor students and they come up and get those awards.
I just want to add, it's a really cool thing, like the cafeteria tray is actually painted with gold paint.
Yes, yes.
And then there's a bicycle that's painted gold, and those get handed out at the assembly, and it just makes for a really fun experience for the kids.
I think everyone's favorite is that we have student videos where the fifth grade leaders go around and interview students and staff during their recess time with Miss Veronica, and they get to ask them what that character trait of the month means to them, and the kids just love that at the assembly, seeing their faces up on the screen, or their teachers or recess staff. So it's been really fun to see that continue to grow.
Yeah, it's been a fun part for sure. And so now we'd like to invite some of our fifth grade leaders to come up with us. If you want to come on there, please come on up. Perfect. And they can kind of stand with us, maybe, we're thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
We can have you introduce yourselves, and then we'll kind of talk about the sections. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, just like that. You can come a little closer right up here. Yeah.
You guys want to kind of loop around?
Excellent.
Perfect.
Great turnout. Were you thinking that, can we have them introduce themselves
Yeah, do you guys
first?
want to introduce yourselves?
okay?
Zoe, you want to start?
Yeah, they'll hear you in the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm Zoe, and yeah.
And then we'll talk more about the sections. You can just say your name and just introduce, just say your name first, yeah.
I'm Violet, and I'm part of recess support.
There you go, great, yes, very good.
My name is Tiago, and I'm part of recess support.
Yeah, this one works, this one works. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I'm part of assembly crew. Hi, I'm Jason. I'm part of assembly support. Hi, my name is Rosario, and I'm part of Hi, I'm Avia, and I'm part of classroom support. Hi, my name is Zula, and I'm classroom support.
Hi, my name's Joe, and I'm part of recess support.
Perfect. So if we want to go to the recess photos, the next one, and then whoever's speaking about recess, come on up.
Perfect. And they'll tell us a little bit about this.
So at recess, we play games with the little kids, and we teach them the rules. We also try to include all kids in games.
And my favorite part of recess support is getting to play with the kids and teach them new games.
Nice. Nice job, you guys.
Should go to the next section.
Yeah.
Classroom support.
In classroom support, we help out the teachers and play with the students. One of my favorite parts of is playing with the kids.
One of my favorite parts of classroom support is reading to the kids.
Oh,
My favorite part about classroom support is getting to play games inside with the kids.
yeah. Nice. Yeah. For the assembly support.
I make videos and we show it at the assemblies about the character traits. For the assemblies, we play games and certificates for kids.
My favorite part of assembly is just putting in the school and playing the games.
Excellent. Thank you, fifth grade leaders. Thanks for coming up. Thanks for being our leaders here at Parkdale Elementary. We're really proud of you, and it's been a lot of fun. We get to rotate through, so they get a chance to do each of these sections like Miss Erin was describing. So it's also fun for us to really just get to know each of you, and hopefully you'll continue to be leaders in middle school, and even if you saw Arun over here, he's a leader at high school, so that could be an opportunity later, right?
Can we ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you guys decide to be leaders? Like, do you have to go through a process, or how did you become fifth grade leaders?
So we became fifth grade leaders. So they gave us a certificate if you wanted to do it, and then you had to fill it out, and then they would choose people.
And did you pick your specific area, like recess or classroom, or did you get assigned that, or how does that work?
No, we actually just had our teachers just pick where we went first.
What are some of the character traits that you guys acknowledge at your assemblies?
The last one we did was perseverance, and this month is honesty, and it's like creativity. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you guys have to give up some time of your own in order to do this, or how do you fit these kind of things in?
Yeah, usually at 1:30 we go to do our jobs, and during recess support we go at 11ish.
Would you tell everybody and as fourth graders to do this next year, to try? Would you guys all tell them again because it was a cool thing, or maybe not?
Well, I will tell you that I think that public speaking is one of the best things that you can do. So really proud of you guys for doing what you're doing, and just getting up in front of adults just like this is hard. So really proud of you, and really think that's something that's going to help you as you go into middle school and high school. So great job.
And thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming, being here.
All set. All right, and we would like to also just share a little bit about some of our academic achievements and where we're going, especially with the AVID program. So this is kind of our trajectory where we've been so far with AVID. We are in our third year. The collaboration year 2, was where we started to focus on leadership more intentionally, and that's when we started it. So this is really the second year of that leadership with the collaboration. And some of our writing work this year, just so you can see kind of where we're at with our AVID focus for this year. So there's some areas that we focus on in our staff meetings I've put up here on the slides. For right now, we're in the middle of our winter guided writing task. And we've had some, I'm just looking at a few of these, but like in our staff meeting, we have some teachers who have come up and shared with us visual writing structure, strategies for that. One of them was a 5-second outline, but that's been nice to have the focus on writing and just ask our classroom teachers to kind of be the guests. So they'll share with other teachers about what they're doing and what's working, and then other teachers can implement that in their classroom. So that's how we've been continuing the professional development with writing. We're also proud of our integrated English language proficiency program. And Miss Maggie, who was with us, she's our ELD specialist for the school. And so she spends a lot of time working with the teachers, but working inside the classroom with the teachers, planning with the teachers. And so that work is really at the core. And this is, we're going into our third year, if not probably fourth year, because Mr. Hedberg was starting the integrated ELD. So we are in our fourth year right now, and we're going to stay the course because we're seeing improvements with that. And so here we can see that we have, we're increasing over the years with students who are reaching that proficiency level that we're looking for.
What's your percentage population of ELD students?
Of ELD students, what is it right now, Maggie?
We're at about 43%.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's about half, yeah.
And do all classes do the integrated ELD?
Yes, yeah. So it's great that we have a great collaboration among teachers. Really, they want to work with Miss Maggie. They see that it's working, and that's really what's driving it. It's not something that is easy to start up, but once you start to see the results and you see it work. The other day, we noticed that we needed to bring some students out to prepare for a test, and we kind of felt it, Maggie and myself, that let me explain it. So we brought some students out of the classroom, which is not what we're used to doing. And we thought to ourselves, we're so glad that we're doing the integrated, where we're working with students on their language abilities inside the classroom, because it's not only good for our students who are learning English, but it's good for all the students in the classroom. Those strategies work. But it really just emphasized it the other day when we kind of saw that happening. But these are just some of the things that we are doing with the integrated program. And a big focus on vocabulary and background knowledge, and we just continue to emphasize this in our staff meetings and in our professional development. Our attendance, we're proud of our attendance. We continue to have high attendance, and we want to maintain that. And it's really the main ingredient to that is what we always tell ourselves, and we want to maintain, is that it's all about the connections, the individual connections with students. We need to make sure that each student has an adult that they come to and that they can depend on, right? Like that one person that when you're having a hard day, who do you go to? Who is your adult? And if for whatever reason we have a student who doesn't have an adult, well, we make sure that they do. So we don't want anybody to be left out on the fringe without an adult they can count on. And then in the same type of focus is just with parents. Individual contact and phone calls is really the best way. And if we can maintain that, right, when you're at a percentage like this, you are able to maintain a program like that because you're able to dedicate time to the students who may need some extra attention. But it becomes very difficult if your attendance is lower because you have more numbers of students who need that individual attention. So we're really working to maintain this, what we have right now for attendance. And then looking at our reading scores, this is an area that we're always coming back to and looking at. We don't like to see our red get higher. That means that there's more students needing intervention. So we are placing more resources into our reading, especially this year. We have an additional 0.5 FTE into reading to help with this. And we're really hoping that we can change the dial in this area, but it's something that we continue to come back to because as you can see from 2025 to 2026, the number of students needing intervention has grown by 3%. And so some of the things that we do to help students with that, well, that's the next slide. But we also are noticing that one of the good indicators is our fifth graders, right? When they're leaving us at Parkdale Elementary, 73% of those students are showing accuracy, especially with decoding. So that's a good indicator for us. But some of the things that we're doing to get at that area of the reading, the need for reading intervention, are some of these things here that we do in the small groups. So we have instructional assistants and specialists working with students in small groups. We adjust those groups in our intervention meetings when we look at the recent scores for students and we decide what group's going to be the best placement for each of those students. And we always bring it down to the individual level to see what's going to be the best for them. And these are some of the strategies that we use in those small group settings. And for math is also an area where we're kind of remaining the same, but as you can see from 25 to 26, we have a few more students in the red. So we got to keep our eyes and keep our focus on math as well. So some of the things that we're doing for that, well, we're seeing also grade 5 growth and kindergarten, which is really important. We want our students coming in to have that strong growth and going out. But right now we're seeing at the middle grades more need for intervention. And so some of those groups are bigger right now for the grade levels, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, and 4. They're needing more support right now, so we're giving them that support. Some of the things that we're doing in the math intervention small groups, we're making sure that we incorporate what's called a spiral review. We find that to be very important. And so we're reinforcing skills and coming back to those skills. And what we've noticed is for our students and also for English language learners, that's very important that we come back to the skills and reinforce it so they can move on and build upon that. And also making sure that we're filling any gaps with the language. And in math, a lot of times, if you think of like story problems in math, that background knowledge is very important, that we help the students with that as they're working through the math problems. And then just something to highlight, if you haven't had a chance to see, this is a photo of our gym. PE classes at Parkdale are just going so well. Community members speak highly of them. But I would say that one of the main things that we're proud of in our PE program is that our PE teacher, Mr. Dixon, who also helps us with the 5th grade leaders, has a focus on the life skills activities. And these are about agility, about balance, about being careful with your body. And so it's not just the traditional sports, but we do focus on some of the traditional sports. But a lot of it, if you go into the classroom, you'll see it's creative and it's a lot of fun. And students are always moving, always participating, and he's always finding a way to bring them into it. Some of the things we've seen, for example, there's the bouldering wall. We also have a bike unit that has become very popular where parents bring in a bicycle if they have it at home or we provide it for them, but all of the kids are on bikes. And Mr. Dixon has the opportunity for a lot of students to see that moment, the first moment when they learn to balance and ride a bike. He's mentioned before that he almost feels like, I don't know if the word steal, but I think he kind of mentioned like I feel like I'm stealing the moment sometimes from parents because they're learning to ride in my PE class. It's a big moment. And then when we had enough snow previous, I think that was 2 years ago, we have these they're not skateboards, but they're snow skates is what they're called. And you're able to practice your balance on the hill outside in the back. That's kind of unique to Parkdale. So that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, so just want to make sure, shared some of our updates on where we're going with academics, our focus on writing. And then we did have a chance to give the students, the question and answer. But if you had any questions for me about some of those slides that I just shared, you're welcome to ask.
I wanted to ask just about the pre-teaching for newcomer students. What does that mean?
So pre-teaching for the newcomer students, like what we do. So we bring in newcomers and we do some small group work with them. So for example, if it's the science unit, Miss Maggie will work with the teacher ahead of time and will talk to them about I don't know what unit it might be, but let's say like corn, learning about corn. So she would help pre-teach on the vocabulary in a smaller group setting for the newcomers so that when they get into the classroom, they're more familiar with what's coming at them as far as the vocabulary and the topic so that they can kind of integrate faster into that session. Yeah, the pre-teaching.
Cool, that's great.
Yeah.
Nate, the kindergarten math is just so interesting to me. I mean, so you have 94% that are kind of coming in sort of a grade level below, and there's some good growth. I'm just sort of wondering, like, I know that it's kindergarten, and nobody's just terrible, but is there anything that we think we can do to just kind of get our kids a little bit more prepared as they come into our schools?
When they're coming into kindergarten?
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. I mean, 94% is pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah, what we think about with that are like the Jump Start program. We're really hoping that we can have one here this year at Parkdale Elementary. We already have 2 teachers who are interested, hoping for funding for that. That's one way. But also just when we invite community members in and we talk to them about reading and about math, we'll have a literacy night coming up. Trying to and also at those intervention nights, you have the opportunity to invite families specifically who have a student that needs intervention. And then at that meeting, when they come in on that night, you can then give them practice material to do at home. But your question about the kindergartners coming in, I don't know if we've found a great way to contact the families before they come in,
Yeah.
you know, to be with us and give them those practice opportunities.
I was kind of thinking a little bit about the Jumpstart
Yeah.
kindergarten program, because I know it's been really successful, and,
Yeah.
you know, I know it's always extra funding, but
Yeah.
I kind of wondered if that was something that you thought would work with your population up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's great. Okay. Any other questions for Nate about Parkdale? Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us and showing us your school, and especially for bringing the kids. That's always a highlight for us to be able to hear. And,
Great.
you know, I think we've seen that leadership at lots of our elementary schools, and it just is, I don't even think we can really measure how important it is to really empower those kids to start that early of having ownership over their school. So
Yeah.
really thank you and everybody that's involved in that. Yeah,
Yes, thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay. We are going to next bring up Jim Donnelly to talk to us about graduation rates and ninth grade on track report.
Sorry, can we get you logged into Meet? Yeah, let's open a new tab. We'll go to Calendar. Perfect. Question is, yeah, that one maybe. And let's go ahead and join. Okay. And then we're going to use companion mode. I know that's weird, but we'll
Okay.
and then present. Okay,
Just a tab.
sweet. Tab's great.
What can I do for you? Plenty.
Well, I think the browser gave up.
Oh, browser gave up. Okay, gotcha.
Restarted here.
Okay.
This isn't awkward at all.
That's right.
Why we brought you?
Somebody could karaoke, like at the Winter Days.
Yeah. Okay. And then we need to mute.
Yeah, I don't think I.
Todd could probably find karaoke music right time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not counting this as part of the time.
No,
We've stopped the clock. We subtracting it from
There we
the
go.
time.
Everything good there, and then just present.
Dave, just roll
Abe, do you need help?
We're good.
We're good.
The whole browser crashed.
Do you need help?
Did you try turning it on and off again?
Turn it off and turn it back on.
We should have a talk.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and slideshow here. All right. Well, thank you for your patience, Madam Chair, members of the board. Thank you for having me. When I found out we were going to do this presentation, Parkdale, I was grateful for two reasons. One is that it's a very, very short drive home for me. And the second is I just think it's really fitting to have this presentation happen at one of our elementary schools. You know, at the high school, we see those kids for the final 31% of their journey of those 13 years that they go through. And so a lot of these numbers reflect, you know, the work of our elementary, middle school teachers, administrators in bringing kids to the point where they're ready to take that high school challenge and graduate. I think the other part is, you know, we have those kids 8 hours a day, and there's people who have them the rest of the time and on the weekends, and those families that contribute to their kids' education. So when I look at these numbers, I really think this is a community celebration. It's not just a high school celebration. And we're very proud of where things are. I think you have heard a lot about ninth grade on track as being a strong indicator for high school graduation. And what that means is that at the end of the ninth grade year, we're looking for those kids to have earned about a quarter of the credits that they'll need to graduate in high school. And we know that that particular number is a good predictor of whether that student is going to graduate in 4 years. And also go on to post-secondary education, go on to successfully navigating adult life. And so a lot of our emphasis and focus is on that ninth grade year and ensuring that our students have a successful transition into high school. And so you can see in terms of our ninth grade numbers, we ended the year here at 86.6%. That's the state of Oregon, I'm sorry, and we were at 90.1. So we are seeing about a very strong correlation between where kids finish ninth grade and where they graduate. So that number really does bear out. As you can see, here's our demographic breakout of those ninth grade on-track numbers. And again, we saw some nice recovery from a little bit of a lower number in the previous school year, last school year. And these numbers really reflect the school-wide on track for graduation. So when we look at where our ninth graders are, 10th, 11th, 12th graders, we say, okay, are there 10th graders at the end of their 10th grade year about through half of their credits, 11th through 3/4 of their credits. And so we can see that number track its way through the system as well. All right, then to talk a little bit about graduation rates. We ended last year, and these numbers come to us in about 6 months after the actual high school graduation. So we don't find out for a while how that all shapes out. But we ended up with 89.6% graduation rate. And if you look at sort of comparative numbers, this gives you a sense of where many comparative districts are in relation to our high school and where we end up in relation to the state averages.
So, Jim, that difference between Hood River County and Hood River Valley High School is HROA?
That would be HROA. And I just asked that, there's differing demographics behind that, differing challenges that students experience. And I think, really we and Carlos and I have really come to see our students are our students district-wide. Mm-hmm. And so our goal is to work together to help support them.
Is Community Works included in Hood River Valley's numbers?
Community Works is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Community Works is a class that is taught out of the high school, funded through our student re-engagement grant. Mm-hmm. But we really see that re-engagement grant as serving students who need re-engagement across the district. All right, so here's some overtime trends that show you, I think the overall trend line there is what to pay attention to. There's always going to be some variation up and down year to year as our students are working their way through. But as you can see, we continue to see really strong and consistent graduation rates across the board at the high school. And then we break these out by demographics, so by race with our white students, Hispanic students, our multilingual students, this particular number really shows the quality of the work that's being done in this district around serving those students and, comparing ourselves to the state. There's some very good feedback we're getting in terms of a quantitative measure. And then also students with disabilities, and we see that same growth that we have. We're 3 points off in terms of our students with disability graduation rate compared to the average graduation rate. And that's a real achievement. Reflects a lot of hard work on the part of our special education staff across the district. And then these are our CTE concentrator numbers. And, historically those students who have completed a concentration, so that's 2 courses in a program of study in one of our CTE pathways. So like introductory woods and advanced woods would be an example of that. We see those students graduating at very high rates overall. This year it's at 98.75%. It was 100% the previous year. You know, those seem to be good indicators, those kids who are following through in those programs of being very successful, walking across the graduation stage as well. So this is showing the difference between our white and Hispanic graduation rates. And these are seniors graduating with 3+ college courses under their belt. So they're students who are taking dual credit opportunities through the community college, and that growth continues to be strong across all demographics of our school. Particularly glad to see the continued growth among our special education students and our English learners in terms of accessing those highest level courses that we offer as a school. All right, any questions on grad rates or 9th on track?
I do think it's really something to celebrate, you know, to look at those access gaps and really see that they are not huge. And I'm especially pleased to see catching up our SPED kids with making sure that they're also getting what they need to continue to get that graduation goal. And yeah, I'm very appreciative of that.
Other questions? I just wanted to touch briefly on a couple of programming points. Bill had asked me to include some information, and I appreciate our students' presentation tonight. You can see the passion that kids bring to the work that they do, and I'm always excited when students come and challenge us and challenge our thinking, because I truly want them to become critical thinkers and not to just accept things because, you know, some principal said it. So I really appreciate that feedback. We did look pretty closely, did some talking with people around our 9th grade English language arts. And we do plan to continue to offer that as a separate class next school year, with the idea that we're going to spend this coming school year, 26-27, really sort of looking at our programming in general and trying to find ways that all of those students have access to really high quality learning from the start. I think one of the things we are trying to figure out at the high school is how to prioritize our resources. And so thinking about how do we provide every student with a solid start, followed by opportunities to branch off into areas that they have a passion for or want to pursue in the future, requires us to sort of think about how we prioritize our course offerings. And so we'll continue to look at that. We're meeting with the ELA team pretty regularly to discuss options for that, and also how we're approaching intervention with our 9th graders in ELA as well.
So can I just say
Oh, yeah.
thank you for that? I appreciate, I know there was a lot of discussion about, you know, keeping that or changing it. And so I appreciate you going back and speaking with the teachers and kind of just, you know, waiting another year and trying to figure out a different plan. So
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well,
Thanks for coming back with an update. We really appreciate it.
well, feedback is how we get better. That's what we tell kids, right? And, you know, I think one of the things that we were really pushed on our time frame with the update to our master scheduling process. And so we skipped over some steps there. And I think we can, you know, always have time to reflect, come back together, figure out our path forward.
I do want to, though, to, Jim, acknowledge, like, our discussion last time and where you were coming from is actually the right way to come at that. You know, you're just trying to increase the rigor for everybody and making sure that we're teaching all of our kids at the highest level. So I'm really excited to see that you're taking your time, but that you're still invested in that idea, because I think it's the right idea. So appreciate that.
Yeah. Again, a solid, rigorous start at the high school for every single student is the goal. And that's followed by those opportunities to branch off into the interests and passions that they find for themselves in the future. So I appreciate that. We will continue working. I also just wanted to share a little bit on the SOAR question. I know that's something that this board talked about a little bit last year, got a lot of feedback on. This year we successfully navigated transitioning about half of our SOAR students into elective courses. But to be very honest, that was an incredibly hard lift for our counseling team to make all of those changes. And so we're sort of looking around for what is the model that's going to happen next year. But we do see, and this is feedback from SOAR students that they took during a class, that many of them do find it to be valuable. They enjoy the time to have support while they get their homework done. They appreciate the opportunity to check their grades. They appreciate the connections that they're forming with their teachers in those courses. And so what's sort of unknown for us at this point in terms of how SOAR is going to look next year is the budget. Of course, we've got to think about how we teach our higher education career pathways course and some other things. And then also our CTE pathways, FTE. So, and then, some options that have been discussed and really haven't been finalized is continuing with the model of SOAR for all students. Looking at a model of SOAR, it's more like a tier 2 intervention for students coming from the middle school who we know need a little bit of a leg up on their first year of high school. Or looking at SOAR as implementing some of those soft skills, socioeconomic, socio-emotional learning during our win time. And so all of those are sort of being considered, and a lot of that is going to depend on what we're looking at in terms of teaching FTE next year.
Any other questions for Jim?
I think it's great to look at the, I think SOAR can be a really valuable program for some kids going through. And I really because especially with those kids who haven't developed those skills yet, they're needing in high school. And I like it a lot better than what we used to say was like, take a study hall, right? Like, make sure you include a study hall to do that. And I think SOAR is a much better option than having kids who are struggling a little bit do that study hall or that time, right? Like, this is that really is a great use of time and effort, and I think they get a lot out of it, and better than just a study hall, right? So I do think SOAR is a great program. I'm glad you're looking at all the options, because I think there's obviously been a lot of kids who also feel like they didn't get as much out of SOAR as they might have from a different class. So, and with the new requirements, they're not recommendations, requirements, their time for electives are like actually getting cut more and more at the high school, which is a little unfortunate. So I think it's great to consider these different options. So thank you. And I know it's a hard pull for the counseling, but I'm sure those kids that were able to do those electives really appreciated it. So.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, well, I'll try not to crash the network when I come off here, but thank you so very much. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a good short drive home.
Aye.
All right, next we're going to look at the Columbia Gorge ESD Local Service Plan Report with Dana Pedersen.
I did not bring my laptop. I sent the PowerPoint to Megan, so I don't know if you all have it in your packet or not.
Hang on a second, I'll help you
Okay.
out.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
And last year when I was here, Arlo was here. Is Arlo still volunteering in the schools?
Yeah.
Arlo passed away.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Yes.
But didn't I see him the other day at something?
Yeah,
Oh, he was-
unfortunately.
You guys are bringing me down.
I know. Sorry. Oh, no. I mean, I was at Westside last year, and
Yeah.
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 No, unfortunately, Arlo had cancer and passed away recently.
Oh,
So,
well, I'm very sorry.
yeah, we all are.
Yeah, that was a high point.
Yeah. Give me
Yeah.
just a second here.
Okay.
Dave.
You need Jim to come help you.
Jim or Abe or
It's great when it
Todd,
works.
anyone.
Well, thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right. Thank you very much for having me this evening. I appreciate the opportunity. We can go on to the second one, sir. I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about the Columbia Gorge ESD. And ESDs are legislatively supported and mandated to be a component of K-12 districts here in Oregon. ESDs receive 4.5% of the overall state school fund, and then that money is allocated to us based on the combined ADMW of the component districts that we serve. And we are required to at least offer services to our component districts in these 4 areas: children with special needs that are not yet of school age, technology, school improvement, and administrative services. An administrative service that honestly just came up this week. I'm sure that Superintendent Newton has been talking to you about the accountability bill and the fact that there are interim assessments that students are going to be expected to take. Well, ODE actually does not negotiate contracts with curriculum companies, and so they've reached out to ESDs to ask us to help, especially small districts, negotiate contracts moving forward, because everyone is required to use an interim assessment. So it's an example of how an administrative service can better support districts, because for everyone, 197 districts, to go out and have to negotiate those contracts, it can be very expensive for districts. So again, in our ESD, we coordinate services. One of the things, quite honestly, that we do, if you look on the left side, as far as providing and hiring highly qualified staff, is that we all hire your nurses and your health aides. It's a service that we can provide to multiple districts, and we coordinate support, we provide professional development, and then we hire staff across the region. It's become an even bigger issue with the passage of Hannah's Law this last year, which means that, for example, Nate, he has Eileen that comes in and supports students here almost every day. He can ask Eileen to be in the health room at certain times or to potentially be greeting kids in front of the school, but school administrators cannot, with new state legislation, direct a nurse or a health aide on medically related activities. You have to have a nurse supervisor, somebody with an RN license or better. And so that's one of the things that the ESD is doing for many of our component districts: Mosier Charter School, North Wasco, and actually some districts that are even outside of our component school districts. If you look at the next slide, sir, go.
I'm trying.
Sorry, it's not working. These are the 4 districts that are part of our legislatively required component districts. But we also work with many other districts, and quite honestly, even in the case of our STEM hub, with a couple of counties on the other side of the river. And so we provide supports through our regional educator network, our STEM hub, our parenting hub, and then even to some districts to the east, we provide supports through our migrant education program. And it allows us to provide professional development and offerings to the region that might be difficult, especially in small rural areas, for an individual district to be able to procure. And we do quite a bit of work with Columbia Gorge Community College also. So along with our core supports, we're actually also able to do quite a bit with some regional initiatives. An area that we've been working on quite a bit lately that you all might have read about is artificial intelligence. We have someone within our STEM hub that has been providing training to teachers through our regional educator network. We've done a couple of book studies to try and help teachers and educators navigate this ever-changing world that they're now working in. Even things, for example, like I know a lot of teachers are starting to use it for grading and things like that. but it can be extremely biased. And so we're really trying to help educate teachers, and we had one of our STEM Hub educators come in and talk to superintendents about what it looks like if we need to be passing board policy, or if we need to be taking a look at our ARs or our acceptable use policy with our own employees, and how do we make sure that we're protecting students and all of that type of personal information. All right. You all hold your own EIECSE contract, and there are still services that we provide that can support you. One of the things that we do through our Early Learning Hub is called Parent Cafes, and you all have actually had very successful parent cafes in English and in Spanish for the last several years. And what that does is that provides parents with an opportunity, particularly if they are raising students with diverse and special needs, a place to feel safe, a place to be able to have facilitated conversations, child support, a meal, and build some community. And those are the types of resources that we're able to provide regionally that can just enhance the programs that you provide here in your own district. We do quite a bit of technology support also. And again, we're here to continue to provide support. At this point, I would say that artificial intelligence is still one of the things, and how it connects in particular to cybersecurity is one of the things that we continue to talk quite a bit about. Many of our other regional programs that we provide, one of the things that we do here through our regional educator network is that we've supported Hood River County Schools for quite a while with your Upbeat survey. It's something that the REN supports, and then if specific site administrators ask for help presenting that information back to staff, or even planning with what to do with that type of data, then we have some data specialists, some teachers on special assignment that will come in and walk side by side with site administrators and help them figure out how to best present that information and then craft a plan to move forward. And this is a little bit of a laundry list, but we do serve, our ESD actually also serves the school districts that are directly to the east of us. So school districts in Condon, Wheeler, Sherman, and Gillum counties, along with some of the charter schools that they have. But some of the other things that we do that specifically impact your region is that we conduct monthly meetings with law enforcement and school personnel around school safety. And so if at a school they're doing any type of level 1 or level 2 threat assessment, there's a team that meets on a regular basis. They're connecting with law enforcement. They're talking about what best practices are. I know this next month they're actually doing a case study where they're just sitting down and saying, okay, this is what happened. How would you handle it? What types of support would you put in place for this student? How would you integrate this student back into the school? And it allows for a place for law enforcement and educators to figure out how do we safely reintegrate students if there's been an incident in a school. And this talks a little bit about our funding. I won't go into it too much, but it does look quite different from what you're used to seeing in a K-12 budget, because we are overly reliant. 200 funds are special revenue accounts. And ESDs are very reliant on grants, contracts, and programs that in some cases ODE is asking us to implement on your behalf. But that also makes the money a little bit more volatile. And at the end of the biennium, that money goes away. And so it's a little trickier to figure out how we continue to proceed. Preschool Promise is a program that we offer to many students, and again, it's a grant. But the funding formula does look a little bit different. Local Service Plan is where resolution funds for your district come in. And so we're allocated a specific amount of money. We meet with Mark and with Bill, and we talk about what the needs are for your district. And then the money is allocated to you based on your ADMW. And that's us. If you have any questions.
That was a great overview. We haven't really had that in a while, so that.
Thank you.
For new board members and me, old, that was a really.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice summary, for sure, thank you. Any questions for Dana?
Thank you for coming. I mean, it's really nice of you to come all the way over here and to go through that. I agree, that was like the most comprehensive, like presentation of exactly what you guys, what the ESD does and how the funds are allocated. So we do really appreciate it.
Thank you. And yeah, actually, this is my community, not exactly Parkdale. I live in Mid-Valley.
Okay.
So
So not too bad.
I actually think I live around the corner from Columba at this point. The truck with the Christmas tree? Yeah, it was my favorite. So, no, this is our home, and I'm really excited to be here, but thank you.
Well, Dana, we'll just keep you right on there, and then, because we are gonna go ahead and vote on the local service plan resolution. So we can just, you can just move right into that, yeah.
Right, I think Megan, did she send you the?
She sure did.
The resolution. So I think the biggest thing to realize is that for us, our local service plan, which is a rather lengthy document, is our version of Division 22 standards. They're called Division 24 for us. And so it is a laundry list of all of the things that we do for you, for North Wasco, for Dufur, for South Wasco, and even for our other districts to the east. And yes, you're signing this, and at any point, Mark or Bill can email me and say, what about this? Or can we change this? And it's a very fluid document.
Great.
So it's a plan.
Yeah. So if y'all had a chance to look that over, I would take a motion to
I
adopt
move
it.
to adopt resolution 25-26/04 CGESD local service plan as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, so moved by Corinda and second by Brandy. Any other questions for Dana? Okay, hearing none, we'll start with Corinda.
Aye.
Monica?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Brandy?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great, that passes, and thank you again for coming and
Absolutely.
giving us a little overview, and for all you do to
Thanks.
support our district.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dana.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay, we are going to move on to the Hood River County School District Classified Appreciation Resolution, and Mr. Newton.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I want to share with you resolution number 25-2605. And we are going to recognize Classified Employee Appreciation Week, which occurs March 2nd through the 6th of 2026. So just a little bit in advance. And the reason is because our next school board meeting isn't until March 11th, okay? So I'm going to read this to you. So whereas the education of youth is essential to the future of our community, state, country, and world, and whereas classified employees are the backbone of our public education system, and whereas classified employees work directly with students, educators, parents, volunteers, business partners, and community members, and whereas classified employees support the smooth operation of offices, the safety and maintenance of buildings and property, and the safe transportation, healthy nutrition, and direct instruction of students. And whereas our community depends upon and trusts classified employees to serve students, and whereas classified employees with their diverse talents and true dedication nurture students throughout their school years. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hood River County School District Board of Directors proclaims March 2nd through the 6th, 2026 to be Classified Employee Appreciation Week, and be it further resolved that the Hood River County School District Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join in this observance, recognizing the dedication and hard work of these individuals.
Thank you, Bill. I would have a motion for this one.
I move to approve resolution number 25-26/05, Classified Employee Appreciation Week to honor our classified staff members.
I'll second it.
Okay, so moved by Dave and seconded by Monica, I believe. Okay, any questions or comments? I will say, I look forward to celebrating them in March, but I'm thankful for all of our classified staff every month, every day, every hour. So, okay, hearing nothing else, we'll start with Corinda.
Aye.
Monica.
Aye.
Jesse. Aye. Rich.
Aye.
Brandy. Dave.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to important calendar dates.
That, okay, Madam Chair, members of the board, I am bringing to you tonight the 2026-27 important calendar dates. While this isn't the official calendar, because we're still working through a few things, we did want to get out this to you tonight and to our community to allow families who have been asking to begin, planning for the next school year and what have you. And so I have in front of you, in fact, I'll share this so we can all be looking at the same thing. Okay, so we are looking at August 24th, 2026, the first teacher workday. August 31st, 2026, the first day of school. November 23rd through the 27th, Thanksgiving break. And I want to just share with you, this is a change in that there will be a full week of break. And what we're doing here is we are, in an attempt to provide a break, a full week, we are going to add on an additional day at the end of the school year to make up for one of those days. And then we are also taking, I believe it's November 30th, it is a work day for staff. We are actually going to move that in to be November 23rd, which then frees up the last 3 weeks of school before winter break, full weeks. So there is no interruption for those last 3 weeks, whereas in the past, including this year, there was a day after Thanksgiving break as a work day. And so I actually think this is much more fluid and, supports everyone with having a full week off. And then we have December 21st through January 1st as a winter break, March 22nd through the 26th a spring break, and then we end June 17th as the last day of school. And so because Labor Day is later and we are starting later than typical, you have that later end date too, June 17th. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
We're still gonna embed the days for, when we didn't need this year, but, for snow or problems.
We will still have that, yes. We just, again, we don't have the full calendar, but we will have those embedded in there.
So this is just kind of to get these dates out, but they'll bring
Correct.
back the full calendar.
We
We're having some really great discussions about the calendar, but it's taking a little bit longer.
It is.
Which is good, because we're making some changes that I think are really important and necessary, but wanted to really get these out. So that's why we're just voting on these, just to kind of get those big dates
Yep.
out to everybody.
Yes.
Any other questions for? All right, I'll take a motion.
I move to approve the recommended 2026-27 important calendar dates.
I'll second.
Okay, so moved by Rich and second by Dave. Any other questions or comments? I do want to just say about that Thanksgiving break, I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that went into this, because it really did get very choppy, and it just doesn't make sense to do something just to do it when this was a pretty easy solution, and I don't know that anybody's going to be upset about having all Thanksgiving break off. So I really do appreciate that thoughtfulness around making sure that we can kind of get whole weeks in there, because I know that gets frustrating for parents and students and staff to be like, okay, we're in and then we're out. So thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll go Corinda.
Aye.
Monica.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Brandy.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and that passes. Great. Thank you so much. Okay, we will move on to Amy McConnell with our HRCEF, acceptance of our HRCSD staff grants.
All right. Madam Chair, members of the board, as you know, we have an amazing partnership with the Hood River Education Foundation. They support our school district in so many ways. And one way that they support HRCSD is through funding our impact teaching grants. So this year, the Ed Foundation is funding 24 individual grant applications for a total of $46,157.38. You can see in your packet the
the grants, the amounts allocated to each school, and the number of grants per school listed there. And I do have two. I always like to just bring a couple summaries of some of the grants that got approved. So one grant activity will expand hands-on STEM learning through a renewable energy project aligned to district curriculum. Students will design and build wind turbines that generate and store energy to power a toy car, applying science, engineering, and problem-solving skills in real-world context. Super cool. And then another grant-funded activity will support specially designed instruction and student independence by providing research-based math manipulatives called DigiBlocks to deepen conceptual understanding of place value and operations, and an assistive technology reading tool called a C-Pen reader with earbuds that allows students with reading disabilities to independently access grade level content in general education settings with dignity and confidence. Yeah.
We did make a motion?
Yeah, please.
I move to accept the grant awarded to staff through Hood River Education Foundation's Impact Teaching Grants.
I'll second it. Okay, so moved by Brandy, second by Monica or Jesse? Monica, okay. Sorry, you guys. Any other questions, comments?
I just wanted to say thanks again to Hood River County Education Foundation. They are always so willing to help with these impact grants, and thanks for bringing a couple of examples, but I really love to hear the really ingenuity that teachers are looking for other options and helping with grants. I just think it's really amazing, and that we have somebody in the community that can help fund it is also really wonderful. And I guess a pitch out there to people can always donate to Education Foundation so that then they have money to give to our teachers and that too. So thank you.
Year after year, we have several teachers who write grants, and they can't fund them all, but it's great that our teachers are writing
Yeah,
the grants.
appreciate that they
I
spend
do.
the
Time
to do
yeah.
that.
I think that's a really important, I mean, and it's not just teachers, just so you all know,
yeah,
it's all staff
administrators, all staff,
that's allowed to do these. And it is extra work, and I really do appreciate the staff taking time and really thinking about ways that they can serve their kids. And then, of course, to the Education Foundation, but mostly to donors that really make this possible. And it's really fun. I get to read them as part of the Education Foundation, and I'm just like, who thought of that? Like, how cool. So really neat, and much gratitude to both those groups. Okay, so any other comments or questions? All right, Corinda.
Aye.
Monica.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Brandy.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. So thank you for bringing those, Amy, and thank you for the Education
My
Foundation.
timing's off tonight. Getting up too early.
Sit down. Okay, next we are going to move on to approve an extended field trip application. Who's presenting? Oh, Sean, there you go.
Hello, Madam Chair and the Board. Sean Bailey. I am here to request approval for our baseball team to go down to Phoenix, Arizona over spring break, as they did in 2024, to the Coach Bob National Invitational. They would be flying down March 22nd and playing at games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday down in the Phoenix area. There are 25 teams from Oregon heading that direction, so it's 111 teams in total. It's a very big spring break tournament every year. They, of course, can't go every year, but the baseball team has done a bunch of fundraising to make the trip actually, from the last report I took from their fundraiser last weekend, will not cost the players anything extra or out of pocket. So the fundraising efforts have been very successful this year, especially compared to 2 years ago. So a fully funded trip for our baseball team to go down and get 4 games, spring break in the sunshine, hopefully. So, yeah, looking for approval for that
Right.
trip.
I move to approve the proposed educational trip, extended field trip for the HRVHS baseball team to Phoenix, Arizona, March 22nd to the 27th of 2026.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by Dave, second by Brandy. Any other comments or questions?
I just want to say great job to the team for all the fundraising, and parents and community for supporting. I heard all about a lot of the fundraising and the big fundraiser they just had. It's a lot of work, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think last weekend, I mean, I wasn't there. It would have been my 3rd weekend in a row working, and my home, that was not an option to spend another Saturday in an athletic event after 2 wrestling tournaments in a row. So I didn't go. But from what I heard from everybody there, from Mark Bailey, from the alumni, they actually had a great moment where they got all the alumni who had played in the program, the current players, and all the youth players currently playing local Little League or from our local club teams all up there for a picture. So we kind of had the whole baseball community down at the Elks in one big, really cool picture that I saw. And yeah, sounded like it was one of the better and more successful fundraisers we've seen in quite some time. And just a community building fundraiser.
That's awesome. And once again, just an absolutely amazing example of how this community comes out and supports our students in our district. It was quite incredible. Yeah, really neat. So thanks to all of them. All right. We have a motion. Any more questions or comments? Good luck. All right, Corinda.
Aye.
Monica.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Randy.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
All right, that passes unanimously. Thanks so much, Sean, and I think you're on to the next one as well.
Yes, I have back 2 co-op requests this year. Last year, we had 1 co-op request. It was the first year we had done that with boys golf. There's a player, he was a freshman last year. He played, he's from Corbett High School. Corbett, the way the OSA co-ops work is if a school does not offer that sport, a smaller school cannot afford to offer it. They don't offer it. The player can co-op with a 5A and down, so they can't co-op with a local 6A school. And Corbett High School obviously is closer to Barlow and Gresham, but they are 6A schools. The local or closest 5A schools would have been Centennial and Park Rose here in the NWAC, but they do not offer golf. So then it deferred to us last year as the next closest 5A school. So that player played with us last year, and we're looking to renew that co-op. They're a year-to-year renewal in the OSA system. So I have to obviously get board approval, put the date in on our system, but we're looking to renew the co-op from last year with Corbett for boys golf. So that's the first one. I'm not sure, do we vote on each one?
Yeah, well, we'll vote on each of them separately, so let's do that one really quick. Okay, if you have a good understanding of it, I would take a motion for this one.
I move to approve the co-op request from Corbett High School to allow golfers to play with Hood River Valley High School boys golf team in 2026.
I second.
Okay, moved by Brandy, second by
Jesse.
Jesse, thank you. I'm looking down at my paper. Any more questions for Sean about this? Okay, Corinda.
Aye.
Monica.
Aye.
Jesse.
Aye.
Aye.
Brandy.
Aye.
Dave. And the chair votes aye, so that passes. Thanks, Sean, for bringing that to us. And
All right, so the second co-op we have, which is a little more unique, because it comes from the state of Washington side, from a school, Trout Lake, but Trout Lake is an OSAA member school. So for Trout Lake, they are a 1A school in the Big Sky League. They play with a lot of our neighbors to the east. They have chosen to be in the Oregon Sports, the Oregon Schools Athletic Association, or Activity Association, because of proximity to 1A schools across the river. For them to play Washington sports on WIAA, travel to Upper Central Washington to 1A schools was too far. So Trout Lake finds themselves in a unique position. They have a softball player and possibly a second, but right now it's just one, who has been playing since 4th grade, and they cannot co-op with Columbia High School in White Salmon. Because they're not a member of the WIAA, that player can't play just down the way there in White Salmon. So, and similar to the Corbett situation, that school called me, their athletic director Doug Dearden called and asked if we could co-op with softball. They generally, in their past, have co-opted with Horizon here in Hood River, or down in Hood River. I think we're up in Parkdale right now. Where I'm at. They're not here in Hood River. They have co-opted with Horizon for soccer in the past because they want to stay at a 1A level. But in this case, Horizon doesn't have softball. Horizon's players play for us. So then the natural last, closest opportunity for that player to play was Hood River Valley High School. We are currently in need of players, just to be honest. We want to have a full JV team and a full JV season. So when the call came in, I said, I will absolutely take this before the board, and hopefully get it approved. I'm also aware that, you know, the initial reaction is that's a Washington school. But I think the understanding that they are an OSA member and they cannot co-op with someone nearby in their state, or any school in their state for that matter. They can't co-op with Camas or others. So in other sports, when we've denied a co-op with some players to come over, they're able to co-op into Camas or Washougal or other places in Washington. In this situation, they cannot. So this player would not be able to play unless they co-op with us. So I'm seeking approval for a student from Trout Lake to play on our softball program. And we're hopeful to have that person to kind of bolster our numbers as well.
John, I should have asked this question the first time. So when you get a request like this, is it like you look at the situation just individually, talk with the coach and sort of see that it's a good fit and
Yeah.
whatnot?
The super golf, like, we don't cut,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, that is something I've also brought forward. We're not gonna be cutting a softball. Like we're saying, we're trying to get to a number, to where both teams are fully supported. We've actually had some unfortunate injuries over the winter, some in basketball. So when this call came through, I was like, oh, that's nice, we need another number. And we need players, and we're recruiting players. I'm currently actively recruiting and approaching a lot of freshmen and sophomores who maybe haven't played or played in years, and trying to, you know, say, hey, come back to softball. So we had a varsity and a JV2, we classified as JV2 last year, because mostly freshmen and sophomores, and we're projecting to do the same this year. And hopefully this is a freshman student from Trout Lake, would, you know, help bolster that. I don't know, I would never put a talent level or where they're gonna be, which team, but it's just a number for us to know that we can start to build out these two rosters.
They get to play.
I have a question. So and I'm just putting it out there because it could come up. So in the past, a few years ago, we had a lacrosse student from across the river that wanted to play, and we'd heard that there was like regulations because Washington, Oregon. Is it because it's not truly OSAA? Is that the difference?
Correct.
Or is,
Yeah.
just so we can put it out?
Yeah, I
there
think
for
the major
everybody?
difference
I think
is
it's
that
important.
in lacrosse, and I knew that would
Yeah.
come up, is that, yes, there are lacrosse and there are Washington schools that are, most of our friends are in Columbia High School that want to play, that they can go play in Camas, and that's generally where they have co-opted. Yes, it's a further drive for them, but they can stay in their Washington association. This school, by becoming an OSA member, they are now excluded from any Washington co-op and being in a possible Washington co-op. They can't send an OSA student to, so if we didn't offer sport, but Columbia did, I couldn't send a student and co-op with Columbia in a WIA sport. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
like the two associations are the
Yep.
break point there. So that's why lacrosse has been different essentially,
Okay.
because there are Washington teams. And therefore, I think a past board action was no, that we're not gonna have them come over
Right.
here.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted it out for everybody to know.
It's good. Sean and I went around and around a few times about that too. We wanted to make sure that we were
Yeah.
clear on that, so.
Okay.
I was trying to, I was explaining to folks, I mean, because this is an OSMA member school, and I kind of went back and I did some looking at kind of who they've co-opted. Horizon has been, they've been with for soccer. And then, the Big Sky League, quite an interesting, fun league. They play against Horizon in basketball, so they're coming down, and the family and the athletic director have, it's gonna be a big lift for them. Trout Lake's a little further than White Salmon, so they're gonna have, to get here for practice and games, it's on them to get here for the bus, and they're committed to doing it, so I said, I'll bring it before the board.
Great. Thanks, Brandy. All right.
I move to approve the co-op request from Trout Lake High School to allow softball players to play with Hood River Valley High School softball team in 2026.
I second.
Okay, moved by Dave and second by Jesse.
Yep.
All right, any other questions? All right, hearing none. Corinda?
Aye.
Monica?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Brandy?
Aye.
Dave? And the
Aye.
chair votes aye. Thanks very much, Sean, for coming up here and
Thank you.
allowing these kids to
Parkdale.
play sports. Yeah. Well, we're glad that we can offer that, because it's great. yeah, great to have kids being able to be involved in the sports they want to, so. All right, our last item of the day is the acceptance of donations, and we have one donation tonight, and it's quite generous, from Barbara J. Keir. Donated $8,000 to the CTE program at HRVHS, which is just amazing. So we thank her very much for that. And I would take a motion.
I move to accept the generous donations as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, so moved by Jessica.
Wow.
Woo! Jesse.
You just
Second by
combined our
Monica.
names.
I just combined you two together.
Our ship.
I'm trying to get in this time thing.
Write it in.
Any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll go with Corinda.
Aye.
Monica?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. And again, thank you so much to Barbara for that incredibly generous donation. I'm sure it'll be well used. All right, we're not going to have any board comments, so we can get out of here as quick as possible. Just kidding. All right, Corinda, we'll start with you.
All right, I was happy to hear from Superintendent Newton that the financial outlook looks a little better, that we are seeing some funding to some areas that we really thought were going to be completely cut, which is really heartening. I wanted to thank Principal Parsons for having us here and for having your staff and students come in. We always really enjoy that. And it's just really neat to see them be able to get up and really focusing on that public speaking as well as other leadership skills. So thank you for allowing that and doing and helping them come up. Thank you to Principal Donnelly for coming and giving us updates. We really appreciate it. And for Miss Peterson for coming and talking about the Columbia Gorge Educational School District. I didn't say this when we were there, but I guess I wanted to also put it out there that, again, it is like half your funding is state school fund based. While you are having a lot of grants, you're facing the same issue that we are when we have funding cuts. And so that can be a really big, I know, pull for the educational school district as well. And just more reason for everybody to get out and talk to their legislators about funding things, because we really do depend on those funds in so many ways, not just to our school district, but to the educational school district as well. And then, thanks for everybody else being here. It's great to hear about the sports team and where they're going, and new people coming in, and it was a great meeting. Thanks.
Thanks, Corinda. Monica?
I'm gonna repeat a lot of your stuff, but I did, Corinda, and thank you, Principal Nate, for having us here. The PTO always makes a big difference. I mean, the whole community of at PTO in fundraising and helping, and looking forward for the carnival. The fifth graders, the leaders, it's always very nice to see all of the fifth graders come up and participate and speak. I wish we had that as speakers, because that's a big help for public speaking for today's day. I really liked the adult to count on for the attendance and the individual contact, as well as the PE activities that are very unique here at Parkdale. Thank you, Jim, also for coming back with feedback and always being here so positive and being patient and just bringing everything in for us, just sharing those graduation rates and reports. And also to thank you to CGESD for bringing all that and being clarity of what you guys do exactly. And then this reminds me of when I was teaching, how I got so emotional on the last day of school. Thank you for the service and Hood River Middle School leaders who did this. Thank you all for being here.
Hi. Thank you to Parkdale Elementary for hosting us tonight. I was telling Principal Nate before we got started that the only other time I'd been here was when I was a science wizard, just like 2 years ago. So it was fun to be back here, and get to know a little bit more about what's going on at the school, and it's super fun to hear about the unique things every school is doing. And here with the PE class, that was so fun that, taking advantage of like the natural landscape that's a little bit different than the other schools to do those snow skate classes. That sounds pretty fun. And then I also wanted to thank Principal Donnelly for coming back with that update on the honors classes, and shout out to our public comment speaker, who's very passionate about the honors classes. So it's really great to hear from students. We've gotten some emails from students over the past couple weeks too about the honors class, so it's always really good to hear from them, and glad that we're taking the time to think through what's going to be the best for our students and their education development. Thank you to Dana for coming out and talking about the ESD. In my day job with Head Start, we work with you guys very regularly, so I'm happy to kind of hear how the school district works with you. And I just want to say, shout out to the Trout Lake softball player that's willing to come all the way over here. Who are we to deny such a passionate athlete the opportunity? So hopefully they have a really great season. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
I can't say any of those things any better, but other than ditto, and thanks for having us, Nate. And yeah, I love it when the kids come out. This is really cool. I mean, thanks HRMS, we got it. And I'm bringing it home. I'm gonna put it on my wall. Thanks to Rune. So I have a couple things that haven't gotten mentioned yet. So Rune, I mean, it's, student envoy making the trip all the way up here. I really appreciate that. The cans thing and the food drive just always is amazing to me. $17,000 and fabulous. I also wanted to thank any letter writers out there regarding the legislative short session going on right now and the budget, and I'm a believer that all of our letters have helped. We still have a $500 million deficit, it sounds like, if everything goes as hoped in the legislature, but, and hopeful that maybe that would be something that the School Stability Fund would cover, and we won't be facing a kind of a pullback on our local option equalization grants. So let's hope that happens, and all of our letters are super supportive towards hopefully avoiding that. So that's what I got. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
I'm going to say just like ditto to what everyone else said, so I don't repeat all the same things. Principal Parson, thank you for having us here. I really enjoyed the fifth grade leaders. It was fun to hear from them and kind of just see what they enjoy, and what a great experience for them. I'm excited for your carnival. I am coming. I'm going to check it out, so that should be a lot of fun. And one of the only things maybe not mentioned was good luck to swimming and wrestling on their districts, right? So I think so. Shout out to them.
Thanks, Brandy.
I guess I have to ditto because now you took a couple of things away from me that I was gonna say, so ditto, 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 ditto.
We'll shake it up next time.
Thank you, Nate, for hosting us tonight. It's always great to be in Parkdale. This is a wonderful place to live, despite the inconvenience of the drive for most of you, so sorry. It was a real treat to get to meet the student leaders who are helping out in the classroom and on recess and assemblies. And one thing I would take away, we really need to make a push to get funding for Jump Start to help the kinders out, help out so they have an advantage when they start school here in Mid-Valley and down in Hood River. Everything else has pretty much been said. Thank you for the wonderful reports on the ESD. It's nice to see how those fundings work, level 100 and 200, and it's probably pretty amazing how that can fluctuate in terms of grants received or not received. So it's nice to see how that works. So thank you for presenting. And with that,
Thanks, Dave. I never get anything.
I know.
I'll just say ditto. Thanks for having us. And the one thing that I just kind of wanted to point out, which I think Jim said so well, is that it really was kind of fun to be in an elementary school and kind of have that vision in front of us, and then have Jim talk about the last 4 years and getting those kids and how we really all do this together. And it really, this journey is 13 years for kids, and it's just really special that we get to be a part of that part of their lives. And it starts from before they even get into kindergarten until we get them across that finish line and beyond. So just really appreciate that perspective. So, all right, everybody, not as good as Dave, I get it, but we're going to gavel out at 8:19. Thank you all so much. Have a safe drive home. Yeah, 8:19 instead of 8:20.
Here's that picture.
Oh.